Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Ruger Love Money, back with some more love money for y'all. And today I'm gonna talk about the differences between the Ethereum NFTs and the Solana NFTs. I find oftentimes people who rock with the Ethereum blockchain don't really rock with the Solana blockchain, and vice versa, right? Me personally, I utilize both, but I can understand that for somebody just coming into NFTs, the price points on Ethereum might be a little bit high for you. So I'm gonna break down basically my observations, right? My observations between the difference between the two blockchains. Now, in one of my earlier videos, just a little while ago, I mentioned the best places to buy NFTs, and I talked about the Cardano blockchain, everything you need to buy NFTs there. I talked about the Ethereum blockchain, everything you need to buy NFTs there, Crypto.com NFTs, and Solana NFTs, long before they started becoming as popular as they are now. And because of OK Bears, I think they'll become a lot more popular very soon. All right, so let's get into it, man. Ethereum is really like the first mover when it comes to NFTs. This is the home of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the Crypto Punks. All of the first NFTs that you heard of, or at least that I've heard of, come from this blockchain. This is the mecca of NFTs, right? That's where it all started at. Because of that, right, this is where we first starting to see the first $1 million NFTs. We're starting to see all these different things, right? Now, one thing that a lot of people talk about when it comes to NFTs, especially on Ethereum, is the gas fees, right? So sometimes these gas fees can range anywhere from $20 to $300, and depending on how much congestion is there, how many people are on the market, those gas fees will increase. One of the things that people leverage the most, right, or brag about the most on the Solana blockchain is the lack of fees. So for those of you that don't know, gas fees are transaction fees. So to make a transaction on Ethereum, the gas fees will be somewhere between $20 and $300, right? Now, one thing that Solana NFTs have the right to brag about is the gas fees are next to nothing. They're almost always less than a penny. I noticed that when it gets congested there, instead of the price of the transaction going up, it'll just make the transaction slower, or you might have to try this transaction a couple times before it goes through. I'd rather try a couple times or just get a little frustrated having to retry this transaction multiple times than pay 20, 30, $40 more per transaction because of the congestion, right? And another thing I noticed that's the difference between the two is because Ethereum is this first mover, and this is where most people buy their NFTs. And when you're getting into NFTs, it's where most people suggest you go and buy your NFTs at. There's a lot more liquidity there. Meaning there's a lot more money being traded, there's a lot more volume there, a lot more people in that space. And because of that, it makes the value of the NFTs not be as much yet, right? So on Solana, there's not as much $1 million NFTs. There's not as many 400, 300, $200,000 NFTs, $30,000 NFTs, right? There's probably about 3 projects, right, that have reached that $30,000, $40,000 mark that have multiple NFTs in their collection. With that being said, one thing that people like to argue is there's not enough liquidity on Solana. However, that can be a good thing or a bad thing because with so much liquidity, right, it's easier for you to get priced out. It's easier for you to make money. You can make a lot more money, but it's also easier for you to get priced out. And you don't want to risk, like when it comes to NFT game, it's risky. So it's like you could risk some money, but would you rather risk $300, $400, $500 on Ethereum plus paying $50, $60 in gas fees, or would you rather risk $100 to $200 on Solana and take your chances there? Right now, with the $200 investment, you might not make more than $5,000 or $2,000 or even $500, but at the same time, you're risking a lot less. So it's the risk reward factor. All right, moving on. Most of the newcomers are going straight to the Ethereum blockchain, right? And this is where you get all the paper hands from people that sell their NFTs fast. They don't know what's going on, things like that. Now, a lot of us are new in this space, and I don't see nothing wrong with that. But we're just talking about the differences in between the two blockchains, right? Most people that are on the Solana blockchain, they're not just like, most people just don't come in, even though it makes more sense. It's a lot cheaper entry to come in on the Solana blockchain. Most people are coming there after dealing with all the things on ETH, after going to ETH and being on ETH for a while, and they come to Solana. So basically, the people that are on Solana blockchain are a little bit more experienced than the people that are on the Ethereum blockchain, just because of their barrier to entry, right? Most people enter through the Ethereum blockchain, and then it's a gateway to the Solana blockchain, and they start to see the differences and understand the difference between the two. Right now, what I'm here to do is basically explain this difference to you guys before you go to Ethereum, or before you hear about some of the prices or some of the money that you have to spend on Ethereum to be a part of this new NFT world. Right now, when you hear that Solana is a lot cheaper for entry, you might start with Solana. You get what I'm saying? And you might have a better experience. Because me, I lost a lot of money learning on the Ethereum blockchain. All right, one thing I noticed too between the two, the difference between the two is the mint prices, right? So the mint price on Ethereum is usually like somewhere between 0.08 ETH, and I've seen them go as high as 0.5 ETH, right? For a mint. And the mint is basically the initial sale, right? So when the first sale comes out, right, the initial sale, the project launches, it usually launches somewhere between 0.08 ETH and 0.5 ETH, basically between $200 and $1,500, right? Now, it could range anywhere between that, and there's times I've seen it get a lot on the higher side. Now, on Solana, the project's usually mint for 2 SOL or less, right? And at the time, SOL is around $97, so that's about $200 or less, right? And that's a big difference. Sometimes they'll even drop for 0.09, which is like $9, $10, $50, $75. So basically, you can get into Solana projects for a lot cheaper, especially if you're able to get whitelisted. Right now, you can get into projects for $100, $200, and they have a 10, 5x upside. So on Ethereum, project sizes are usually somewhere around 10,000. Lately, I've been seeing them make a smaller 5,000 piece collections, right? But most of them are somewhere between 5 to 10,000 piece collections, right? Most Solana projects have a lower supply, right? Most Solana projects are 5, 6,000 or less. A 10,000 supply collection is actually like pretty high for a Solana NFT, and that's actually a good thing because you gotta understand how it works, supply and demand. So if they're dropping 10,000 of this NFT, it's not going to be as valuable if they're dropping 3,300 of them, right? Which is what happens on Solana. Now, even though there's more money being traded on Ethereum, I think the supply has a lot to do with the value of the NFTs. So it kind of balances out, being that the price is lower on a Solana, but the supply is also lower. So it's going to be a lot harder to get the ones that you want, which is what drives the price up so much and has these 5x, 10x upsides. Okay, next difference is on Ethereum's blockchain, there's usually a phase, right? When the project mints out and the project sells out, most of the NFTs will have a generic picture or logo, right, covering all of the NFTs. And it's called a pre-reveal phase, right? I can actually show you guys something. All right, so this is an example of a NFT project in the pre-reveal phase, right? So as you can see, they all have the same logo, and there's no difference in them, right? This project launched today, right? This project launched today, and this is the pre-reveal phase. Tomorrow they'll do the reveal 24 hours after the mint, and you'll see exactly which NFT, which traits you have, and things like that. All right, now if we compare it to Solana NFTs, right? As soon as these sold, you know exactly which one you had, exactly what rank it was, and all the traits. That's not to say that none of the Solana projects will have a reveal phase, but majority of them, they usually just reveal right away. Touching back on the price points, right? This is Disarticulated Scully's, a project that I minted today, and the mint price was 0.75 SOL, which is essentially $75. You can see now the cheapest that you could buy one of them, the floor price, is 500 or 5.2 SOL, which is around $520. Right now, it's still 5x, but the price, the going price, was very, very low. You understand what I'm saying? And now There's 5,555 in this collection, which is actually a big collection on Solana. Remember, I said they're usually like 5,000 or less. Now, if we go back to OpenSea, we look at the Lunartics, there's a 10,000 piece collection, right? And the mint price was 0.08, which is about 240, right? Which is almost 3 times, a little more than 3 times the price of the other project. And they have a 10,000 piece supply. So this is just putting in perspective things that I mentioned earlier. All right, so one more thing I noticed that's different between the two blockchains is the majority of projects that launch on Solana usually offer staking, right? So staking is basically when you lock up your NFT and you could earn rewards for it, right? I'm gonna show you guys an example of that. So this is one of the NFTs that I'm staking right now. I'm staking it from the Solana blockchain, right? Almost every project that I bought into offers staking on the Solana blockchain. So it's basically standard, just like the reveal phase is like a standard on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, that's not to say that every project on Solana is going to offer staking. It's not true. And that's not to say that every project on Ethereum will have a reveal phase, but this is just the way things usually go, right? This is just the norm over here, right? And there's projects that stake on Ethereum also. But basically what staking is I lock up my NFT, right? You can see the total value locked because these NFTs hold value. So right now they have $8 million locked in this vault, right? So me, I locked up one and I'm earning the native token from the project, right? So this is Tombstone High Society and their native token is called joints. So I'm earning a certain amount of joints per day that I could use to either buy into other projects. Maybe they might drop some merch that I could buy into. And hopefully, right, very soon, there'll be a liquidity pool, right? There'll be liquidity for this token. And right now, I can't go and trade it out for dollars, but eventually there will be a point where I can go and trade out for dollars. And a lot of projects out there right now, you can actually swap your money for fiat currency, right? You could swap their native token for fiat currency, so it'll be like a passive income stream. And there's a lot of NFTs on the Solana blockchain and Ethereum blockchain that offer passive income, and this is probably one of the best ways to do that. Yeah, so that's basically all I got for you guys. I hope I cleared up the differences between the two blockchains, and you can actually decide for yourself which blockchain fits you better. Yeah, man. Leave in the comments below anything else you want me to cover, any other questions you have, questions pertaining to this video. Feel free to DM me on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. It's Rugal Love Money everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you want to learn more about this stuff, right, or just have it structured in a way that you can always go back and refer to it and sit down and really lock in with it, I got an NFT 101 course that goes over majority of the stuff that I cover in this channel, right? When it comes to the basics, I talk about the different blockchains. I talk about what to look for in an NFT project, right? So you don't go out there and you're just running wild buying up things not knowing why, and you're gonna end up spending a lot of money learning this stuff. So it's better that you learn it from someone else, right? um the course is only $22. Better you learn it for the $22 than go and spend hundreds of dollars learning like I did. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I put that together for you guys. And yeah, I hope this video helps you in some way. If it did, leave a comment below. Let me know what it did. If something was confusing to you, you know what I'm saying? Let me know what that is, and I'll try to double back and touch on that for you. Peace. Love y'all.